We want you to be successful in the markets. So guys, I'm going to give you some gold every day. I'm going to let you know which currency pairs I'm looking to trade and which direction. And I'm also going to let you know which news that you must be aware of. So let's take a look at the chart and what I'm potentially going to trade today. Okay, good morning guys. Welcome to the live session. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of August, and I'm excited to do the live session with you again. So guys, as usual, we're still going to do the daily analysis, but as we go, if you've got any questions about any of the currency pairs or anything to do with trading, then please just ask the questions. All right, we'll try and get through as many questions as we can, and I have to look at this screen for the questions. Also guys, in the comments there's a link which allows you to come on and join us on the live. At the end we'll get some traders to come on and speak to me one-to-one. Maybe you need some help with your trading, maybe you need some pairs that you're looking at and you need help with them. So yeah, the link is below, is in the comments guys, so use that if you want to come on. Don't be shy. So let's get started then guys. So we'll look back at yesterday's trades first of all, and there were two potential trades. Okay, so the first one was this. All right, so this was the euro against the yen, and we were looking to buy this pair. So price was clearly in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, didn't create a lower low, okay, sort of tested these highs again, come back down, but then it eventually broke, broke these highs here, okay. So this candle here broke these highs, trend was in an uptrend, we had a bullish candle, so the idea was just to come from one of our grey zones back up to this blue line or even this blue line here guys. All right guys, and as you can see, that's exactly what happened, but could we get in on the trade? Okay, so let's look at the H1 guys, because that's always our entry time frame. So yeah, here's the H1. So as you can see guys, yeah, price did react at our grey zone. It reacted strongly at our grey zone, and this is pretty much when I start looking for trades, 7, 8 o'clock. All right, so as you can see, we had this huge entry candle, this huge bullish candle, but the problem with this bullish candle guys is obviously our target is this blue line. Okay, so let's say you even got a slight retrace. Let's say you entered here, okay, you would have to put your stop below the low, okay, and then this is your reward, yeah, and then this, it's not easy to draw with a mouse. I know I say this every week, but I'm getting better, like Picasso at the moment. So yeah, this is the arrow here, this is your reward, but this is your risk guys. So although it is a very bullish, good entry candle, it just doesn't make sense with regards to the risk to reward. Okay, so you couldn't really enter on this candle. Perhaps you could if you literally got a retrace down to here. If you entered here, put your stop here, got out of the blue line, yeah, you would just about get a risk to reward of 1:1. Okay, so yeah, it was a tricky one, guys. I'm going to show you what I did in a second. Okay, and then after that candle, guys, yeah, there's no other real candles that tell us that, yeah, tell us that it's an entry candle. All right, and then it eventually hits our blue line. And then for me, guys, I'm out of the trade. Okay, so yeah, it was only really this candle, guys, that we could enter on. But what I'm going to show you now, guys, is you can drop down to a lower time frame. Okay, so because this trade, if this is our entry area, this grey zone, and our target is this blue line, yeah, we don't have a lot of room to move into. Yeah, you would agree. I hope you would agree. All right, so instead of entering on a H1 candle, what you can do is let's drop down to the 30-minute time frame. Okay, I'm only suggesting doing this, guys, if there's not a lot of room to move into. Okay, otherwise I would just wait for a H1 candle. But as you can see, guys, this candle here on the 30-minute time frame is a perfectly good entry candle. Yeah, it's a bearish, engulfing, bullish candlestick pattern. Okay, so what I did, guys, I actually entered on the close of this candle. Yeah, I put my stop below the low. Okay, and I closed pretty much 100% at this high here. Okay, all right, so I got a little bit, my risk to reward was over 1:1, and I just closed 100% because it was so close to the blue line anyway. Yeah, and once a very good trader told me, don't be a dick for a tick. Okay, so I closed, yeah, just before the blue line, which corresponded with this high, and made nice profit on this pair because I dropped to the lower time frame, which allowed me to get into this pair. Okay, guys, so yeah, I wanted to show you that. Yeah, it's important. If you haven't got a lot of room to move into, move down to a smaller time frame. Okay, so that was the first trade idea, guys. So made some money. Let me know how you traded it. Yeah, leave a note in the comments. So yeah, successful trade. The next trade from yesterday, guys, was this. It was the pound against the Canadian dollar. And this was a tricky little sausage, this one. So reasons why we were shorting this pair. So as you can see, it's clearly in a downtrend, guys. Yeah. As soon as these lows here are broken, yeah, and even these lows, yeah. So we was once in an uptrend, but then it broke these lows, and then even broke these lows. So price is clearly in a downtrend. Okay. Yeah. So that's the structure, the trend, and then let me zoom in, and then we had this bearish candle form, yeah, which told us that sellers were still in control and we wanted to take price lower. We also had this huge wick the day before, okay, which has rejected this level. So for those reasons, guys, I just wanted to take price lower, but my target was quite conservative. My target was this 15200 area because it's very oversold. Yeah, look how far price is away from this moving average. Yeah, it's very oversold. So I had a conservative target, which was this 5200 level. Okay, guys. So as you can see, it did react in our grey zone, but let's see if we could get in on this pair on the H1, guys. Let me explain. So, guys, as you can see, price came back up and entered our grey zone, yeah, with this candle here. And then we got a huge wick, a huge reaction on this candle. Okay, I know it's a green candle, guys, I can see, but look at the wick. Yeah, I would be willing to take shorts from there. But there's a couple of things you've got to bear in mind. Firstly, the H1 low is just here. So this couldn't really be your target. Okay, and then secondly, if I zoom out a little bit, yeah, our blue line is only here. Our higher time frame target is only here. So if I zoom back in, yeah, on this candle, guys, I needed a retrace. So I was looking for price to come back up to here on the next candle, yeah, maybe here. So I could then have good value to enter this. I could take it back down to the last H1 low and close the trade and then leave 20% to run. But I didn't get that, guys. From this candle, it came straight down with this candle. And then as you can see, it's reacted at these lows. Yeah. Your job as a trader, guys, is to read these candles. All the information you need is in these candles. I know people talk about, using different bits, using different oscillators, different indicators. But all the information you need is in these H1 candles, guys. All right. And then price bounced up. And then we had this green candle form. Yeah. And then we had this huge wick on the following candle. Yeah. So everything told me that it didn't want to push lower. Price was pushing up from this level. And then eventually, bang, we had this very large green candle form. Okay, guys. So, yeah, this was going to be my entry candle. I didn't get a retrace, so it didn't represent value. It came back down to these lows and then just wanted to push up. Everything told me the price wanted to push up. So I stayed out of this trade, yeah, because I read the candlesticks. And then, you know, once I've seen this large rejection and this push upwards, I just sort of stayed out of this trade, guys, yeah. I mean, were these couple of candles here. Yeah, these could have been entry candles to take price lower. But for me, once we had this huge push off of this low here, yeah, I wasn't interested. Okay, but having said that, guys, if we look at the day chart, yeah, because of this wick here, yeah, because of this wick, because of this reaction at this grey zone, yeah, I still think it does have potential to come down and still reach this target. Okay, but we'll see today. All right, guys. So, yeah, they were the two trade ideas from yesterday. So, Euro Yen, we had a good trade because we dropped to a slightly lower time frame. And then the pound Canadian dollar, just mixed signals. Yeah, we had downward pressure and then upward pressure. So, I just stayed out of this pair, guys. All right, so that's the recap done, guys. Recap from yesterday. If you enjoyed the recap, and if some of you are new to the channel, then come and join us. Subscribe to the channel, and also smash that like button, guys. But yeah, let's have a look at a few questions now. Okay, so nothing really as yet. Yesterday I made profit. Okay, so well done, Shabazz, making money on the Euro Yen. Good for you. I assume you were following the trade idea and buying Euro Yen. Okay, all right. Okay, guys, so let's carry on now. We're going to look at today's potential trade. So these are trades for Wednesday, the 31st of August, today. All right, and you're going to have a little bit of deja vu here, guys, okay? So we've looked at a couple of these trades at the start of the week as well. But the first one is this, guys. It is the Aussie dollar against the Swiss franc, okay? And as you can see, guys, this market has been in this range for some time, okay? So it's just been in this range. This is the day chart, just coming off these lows, highs, yeah, just ranging, okay? And then if you remember the other day, we had this candle form at the highs, which we were trying to take shorts from. And then yesterday, we also had this candle, okay? So it's a bearish candle, huge wick, rejecting these highs here, okay? So it's at the top of the range. Because of this large bearish candle, we just want to take price back down to potentially the bottom of this range. But what I'm going to do today, guys, is do the targets, do the gray zones. I'm going to plot them with you. All right, so guys, yeah, that's why we're looking at this. We've got this huge entry candle here, okay? Then you have to ask yourself, guys, what makes sense as the next potential target, okay? And for me, it's this, okay? So this level here, it's a psychological level at 6650, and price, as you can see, is also reacted here. Yeah, you can see price reacted here, okay? So yeah, we've got we can take shorts down to this blue line. And also, I think a potential target could be the lows of the range. And also this psychological level, sorry guys, this psychological level here, this 6600, this 6650. All right, guys, so they're my targets. I always plot my targets on the day chart, okay? So they're my two targets in place. Remember, guys, I do a top-down approach. So I look at the day chart, even the weekly chart. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. Yeah, and as you can see, this is clearly in a downtrend. Yeah, so price was in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, but then price broke down, broke these lows here, okay? And then it's been in like a flag and pennant pattern, okay? And then all we want to do, guys, is from this high, yeah, has come back down. Potentially, it could even potentially come back down and test this last weekly low. But as you can see, it still makes sense on the weekly chart. We're in a downtrend still. All right, guys. So let's go to the hourly chart now to see what we need to plot our grey zones, guys. So we're going to plot our grey zones. So what I'm looking for, guys, is to see where price has reacted before. So I can see prices reacted here. I can see prices reacted here. Okay. So this is the basis to plot a grey zone here. All right. So let's do that. So if I look at this area here and move it across the screen. So this area here, guys, will be our first grey zone. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense to me. Okay. And then the next grey zone, guys, we've got, yeah, these last highs here, and we've got this high here, which formed yesterday. So again, we can plot a grey zone that takes into account both of these. Okay. So basically, I'm plotting grey zones where I can take shorts from. All right. So we've got the two grey zones because of this. All right. So the first one, and as usual, guys, yeah, price is already in this grey zone, but now I want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form. We can enter the trade, yeah, take price back down to the last H1 low, which is here, close 80% of the trade, and then leave the rest to run down to this higher time frame target, or even this higher time frame target. With the remaining 20%, you could close 10% here and the final 10% here. Okay, sometimes I do this. All right, so that's the first grey zone. The second grey zone is this, guys. Okay, so price could come up into there, test these last highs here. Okay, and then again, guys, we just want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form. We enter the trade. I would probably take price down to this grey zone, close 80% here, and then leave 20% to run. Okay, guys, so yeah, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, we're looking to short this pair, and these are the two grey zones where we could possibly enter if we get a reaction. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's the first trade idea for today, for Wednesday the 31st of August. Okay, so okay, we've got some questions here, guys. So what broker do I use? So I use Equity. Yeah, I use the broker Equity. And I use a different platform for my charting. I use FXCM for my charting. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Stephen. Okay, let's look at the next trade idea now. So it's this, it's the New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen. All right, and it's a similar scenario. This market, this is the day chart, and this market is pretty much, well, it is in a range. Yeah, okay, so it's ranging, yeah, this, like this. Yeah, it's been ranging, okay? And then we've had another reaction down, and then basically we had this region of chop, okay? And then if you remember at the start of the week, guys, we were trying to short off of this candle. Okay, guys, because this candle had broken these lows here. All right, so the idea was to take shorts a couple of days ago. But as you can see, the market had other ideas. All right, let's zoom in. Okay, so the market shot up with this green candle. Okay, so we had a losing trade that day. No problem, we have losing trades. Okay, but for me, it is still hasn't broken. So because of this candle, we have lower lows. So for me, we are in a downtrend. And then secondly, guys, yeah, it hasn't broke the last high. So these are the last highs. Yeah, here, here. And it hasn't broke the last high. So the downtrend is still intact. And at these highs, we've had a reaction. They had this bearish candle form. Yeah. So for me, because of this bearish candle, to be honest with you, the daily green candle before it, isn't ideal, but we do have a little bit of a wick on this candle, okay? But yeah, this candle here is strong enough, yeah, bearish enough for me to start looking for shorts, okay, to start coming down to here or even here. Okay, guys, so excuse me, let me have a little drink of vodka. Been doing a lot of talking. So, yeah, because of this bullish candle, guys, yeah, we're looking for shorts and we're in a downtrend. Okay, so let's look at H1 now. No, sorry, let's plot our targets, guys, because while we're on the daily chart, let's plot our targets. So for me, guys, I'm looking for where price has reacted. And if I can coincide that with a psychological level, then brilliant. And that's exactly this. So obviously, as you can see, price has reacted here several times, and it's a psychological level, 84.50. So yeah, 84.50, 8400, these are psychological levels I'm looking at. Okay, so that would be my first target. My second target would be potentially down to here. Okay, so 83.50. All right, guys, so as you can see, this is the bottom of that range. Yeah, remember this range? Yeah, so that will just be the bottom of this range. So we've got two potential higher time frame targets to aim for, guys. All right. So let's drop down to the H1 now to look for our grey zones. Okay, so all right. So for me, guys, yeah, I can see prices reacting here. Yeah, we can all see this. It's just been using this area as an area of support. Yeah, it's come down, tested it, shot back up, come down. Yeah, so this zone here is important. It's become an area of support on the H1. Okay, remember I'm looking for shorts, guys. And then potentially this zone here, guys, as well. Yeah, so these last highs here could also be a zone from which we could take shorts. Okay, so on the H1, this is what I'm seeing, guys. So first of all, yeah, let's take a look at the top grey zone. So price could come back up and test these highs. Yeah, come back up to here, test these highs, but then we want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form, guys. Okay, so we see a bearish candlestick pattern form, we enter the trade, and I would just take price back down to this grey zone here. Okay, close 80% and then leave 20% to run, guys, down to one of our higher time frame targets. Like I said before, guys, you could close 10% here and then leave the last 10% to run. Okay, so that's the first grey zone that we could enter from. The second one is this, guys, and this is a pattern I love. Yeah, and I've shown you it many times, guys. Yeah, it's a pattern that is very common in the market. And it's basically this, guys. Price breaks out of this zone, so therefore breaking all these H1 lows. It then comes back up to this grey zone, tests it, yeah, in the form of a bearish candlestick pattern. We can then enter the trade and then just take 100% of the trade back down to this target here. Okay, guys. So yeah, we love this pattern. What was once support, yeah, when it breaks, then becomes resistance. This is such a good pattern in the market, guys. It happens over and over and over again. Okay, so yeah, we can take shorts from here down to here. Okay, guys, so we've only got the two trade ideas for today, guys. So yeah, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, we're looking to short this pair, and New Zealand yen, we're looking to short this pair as well, guys. Okay, let me just take a quick look at my other screen. Okay, so we've got a couple of charts that people want to look at. Okay, so we've got Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, so let's take a quick look at those. Okay, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, let's bring that chart down, and Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, guys, so let's start with the Aussie dollar Japanese yen. All right, so what you'll find at the moment, guys, with a lot of the yen pairs, there's this weekly, daily battle. Yeah, so let's start with the weekly chart. Excuse me, have some more vodka. Okay, so weekly chart. As you can see, guys, it just keeps hitting these highs. Okay, and it's not going any further. It's not creating higher highs. It's rejected it here, rejected it here, rejected it here, and potentially it could reject it here. So there's a lot of downward pressure, okay, on a lot of the yen pairs. And as you can see, this particular yen pair, the Aussie dollar yen, because of this weekly chart, because of this weekly level, yeah, I wouldn't like to buy into this. Yeah, do not buy into support or resistance. Yeah, well, don't buy into resistance and don't sell into support. That's what crazy people do. Don't do that. Okay, so this would be, if you took a buy here, guys, yeah, you wanted to buy, you would be buying into resistance. Okay, don't do that. So weekly is sort of a downward pressure. Okay, then if we look at the day chart, yeah, we have sort of upward momentum, really, guys. Yeah, if you look at this, oops, sorry, that was the wrong line. Yeah, live YouTube channel. See, anything can happen. All right, so I'm seeing this. Yeah, it's sort of an upward, yeah, upward trajectory. Okay, so we've got weekly chart telling us to, you know, that it wants to come down. We have the daily chart telling us it wants to go up. Okay, but if you put a gun to my head and said, Tom, you have to trade this pair because it has hit this weekly high and we've got this bearish candle form, yeah, I would short this market. First of all, guys, let me get it clear. I wouldn't trade this pair today. If I did, it would be under my trade ideas, but it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it because we have that daily buying pressure and the weekly selling pressure. I'm not interested. But because we've had this large red candle form at this weekly high, this weekly resistance, then if I had to, I would look for shorts down to here and even potentially here. Okay. So yeah, perseverance. So that's Aussie dollar Japanese yen. Okay. Now let's look at Swiss franc Japanese yen. All right. And if we look at the weekly chart, it will be pretty much the same picture. Yeah. So we've got this area of resistance, guys. Yeah. It hasn't broke it. Yeah. Price keeps hitting it, coming down, hitting it, coming down, hitting it. All right. So again, similar scenario. We don't want to buy into weekly resistance. Yeah, don't do that. Crazy people do that. Okay, so we've got arguably selling pressure as a result on the weekly chart. And then on the day chart, guys, we are still clearly in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, but it's like I say, we cannot buy into this area. We cannot buy into this area of resistance. Okay. And for that reason, guys, again, if I had to trade this pair, because this hasn't created a higher high, yeah, and we've had this bearish candle form, I would look to take price back down to these lows here, or even these lows here, yeah, or even longer time frame, these lows here. Okay, but again, guys, it's not a trade idea because of this weekly daily battle on the yen pairs. It's happening on most of the yen pairs, guys. All right, so I'm staying out of the yen pairs for that reason, but I would short both of them pairs if I absolutely had to. Okay, okay, let's have a look. So that's perseverance. Can I avoid the pound Canadian dollar for today? All right, well, let's look. Can you avoid it? Okay, so what do you mean by that? But let's take a look, guys. Okay, so bear with me, my computer just frozen. Live YouTubing, anything can happen. So this is the pound against the Canadian dollar. So I would still be looking for shorts, guys. Yeah, it's clearly in a downtrend. These lows here are broken. It's clearly in a downtrend. Okay, we had this bearish candle form a couple of days ago. We had this wick on this candle form. Yeah, so for these reasons, guys, I would still be looking for shorts, yeah, down to this psychological level. But if we go down to the H1, yeah, so our grey zone's still good, guys. But if price started coming out of this grey zone, then I'm not interested. I do not want to short the pound Canadian dollar anymore if it comes out of this grey zone and closes outside of this grey zone. But if it reacts heavily here, yeah, we get a bearish candle formed, then yeah, I think there's still potential room to the downside. Okay, so yeah, I hope that answers your question, Shabazz. Right, guys, what I'm going to show you now is a couple of, I want to show you a head and shoulders pattern, guys. All right, so as you can see, yeah, there's a couple, I just keep seeing head and shoulders pattern. Even when I go to sleep, I wake up in a cold sweat and see head and shoulders patterns. I don't know what it is, but I keep seeing them everywhere. So this is one example of a head and shoulders pattern, guys. Okay, so yeah, if we were just looking at this pair in terms of trend, yeah, Aussie dollar, US dollar, this is the day chart. If we were just looking at this in terms of trend, we would be in an uptrend, okay? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, hasn't created a lower low, yeah? So the low is still intact. And if I saw this candle here, I would probably want to take price back up to these highs, okay? And if you're not aware of patterns in the market, this would be a logical, good predicament, a good idea, okay? But guys, yeah, what I'm seeing is a head and shoulders, and let me explain. So these patterns form like this. So we have, this is a shoulder, this is a head, okay? This is another shoulder, okay? And then the idea is that price continues down, okay? To potentially these lows here. All right, so this is shoulder, this is a head, not easy to write with this pen. That is a H for head and S for shoulder. So we've got shoulder, head, shoulder. And then whatever this distance is from here to here, yeah, once this is broken, I would argue it's not quite broken yet, okay? But once this is broken, I would say once this low is broken, the potential is for this price to come down this same amount of pips, okay? Which would correspond with these lows. Okay, guys, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, this is potentially what is happening. Yeah, so this is a typical head and shoulders pattern, but it does need to break this zone here, yeah, before we can start entering shorts. If you look at yesterday's candle, I think that could be a strong possibility. Yeah, if you look at this candle, everything's telling us that this head and shoulders pattern could develop and actually happen. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's an example of a head and shoulders pattern. The next idea is this, guys. We've got the Aussie dollar against the Canadian dollar. And again, guys, this is again potentially what I'm seeing. Yeah, so we have the shoulder, we have the head, we have the shoulder, and again, it could potentially come down. So, we've got the shoulder, we've got the head, yeah, and we've got the shoulder. Yeah, obviously correlated with the Aussie dollar, US dollar. But once this level here is broken, yeah, we could look for shorts down to potentially here. Okay, guys, so yeah, my advice is, yeah, I might even do a tutorial on patterns, guys, because it helps you analyze and the market in a little bit more detail. And it can also give you more confluence to enter a trade. Yeah, so please bear patterns in mind. But yeah, that's the two head and shoulders patterns that I'm seeing. There is, guys, can I just remind you guys, if you've got any questions or you want to join us on this live session, then please hit the link in the comments to join us, or just leave questions about anything to do with trading, or even any pair that you might be in. Okay, I'm going to look at one more example now of head and shoulders, and I'm seeing it on the weekly chart of the euro yen. Okay, so this is the weekly chart, which is why my targets were conservative here. Yeah, remember the trade from yesterday? My targets were conservative because what I'm seeing here, guys, on the weekly chart is a head and shoulders pattern, potential head and shoulders pattern. So it comes up here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then potentially this, guys, but it needs to break this level. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with this pair as well. Right, guys, any further questions? Okay, so guys, if you want to come on now, you can. Now's the time to hit the link below the comments if you want to come on and ask me one-to-one. Yeah, it'd be like a free tutorial session, guys, so why not? So we're just going to give it 5 minutes, guys, just to see if anyone pops up. And while we do, guys, let's take a quick look at the news, okay? So I'm going to look at the news now. So let's look at the important news for today. So I'm looking at a different screen. You can probably tell that. So, guys, news for today. So today is, let's start at the top. So today is Wednesday, the 31st of August, and we're looking for a high rating. Yeah, on investing.com, we have 3 stars. On here, we're looking for a high rating. Okay, so let's go down the news. As you can see, guys, overnight, we had some important information coming out of China, manufacturing. As you know, they manufacture everything. And that was a little bit better than expected, but still below the 50 level. Okay, but that's been and gone, guys. The first piece of news we're interested in today, guys, is this. 8:55 London GMT. We've got 2 big pieces of employment data coming out of Germany. Okay, so yeah, must be aware of this, guys. This could move any euro pair that you may be in. If we carry on down at 10 o'clock, coming out of the euro, we've got inflation. And my God, is inflation important? Yeah, because the cost of living is out of control, all eyes are on inflation, guys. So this inflation figure could really move any euro pair. Okay, so must be aware of that, guys. Inflation is so important at the moment. If we carry on down, the next piece of important data is this. Coming out of Canada, 1:30 London GMT, we've got GDP figures. All right, so we've got the 2 GDP figures here coming out of Canada. So are they in growth or are they in decline? This will be interesting. So again, a lot of eyes on GDP figures at the moment, guys, because a lot of people think we might be entering a recession. So yeah, a lot of emphasis on GDP. After that, guys, as you can see, there is no other real news that we're interested in today. So yeah, that's the news for today, guys. Yeah, and if you're enjoying this vid, guys, enjoying this analysis and want to come join us at Simply Forex, then please subscribe to the channel and then smash that notification button. Then you'll receive this alert every single day. Right, guys, so we've got somebody who wants to come on and join us on the live stream. Perseverance, hi, welcome.
Hi, sir, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. What you're doing is great, sir.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So, sir, we are facing a problem. Me and my brother here. Most of the time, we analyze, and then we're looking for entry points, and then after we find out that it hits the stop loss before it goes to our direction most of the time. So it's our challenge for now. We see the direction, but we don't know the right time to enter.
Sure, I understand, and there's nothing more frustrating in trading than your stop getting taken out and then it moves in the right direction that you expected. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating, Perseverance, I must say. So there's a couple of things we can do here. So let's look at one of my trades from yesterday. So the euro yen, let's look on the H1 chart to see what we can do. Okay, so first of all, Perseverance, you could make your stop wider. I call it wiggle room. Okay, so if we go to the candle that I entered on euro yen, so if you remember on my recap, I entered on this candle here. Okay, so yeah, what I would normally do, I would enter here, and depending on the currency pair, I would put my stop 5 to 10 pips below the entry candle. Okay, so let's say I put it below here. Okay, and then my target was this blue line. Okay, so the argument is 5 to 10 pips enough room for this stop loss? So two things what I would say. First of all, you have to, the strength of your setup. Yeah, if the setup is strong, and we've seen a real, like we did with this candle, it was a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. It pushed off of this gray zone. Yeah, so it was a strong setup. So if it's a strong setup, chances are it will move up quite quickly. So make sure your setups are strong. Yeah, you have a zone in which you wish to enter, and you have a strong reaction at that zone. So first of all, that's the important thing. Then you have to give your trade a bit of wiggle room. Yeah, so for example, yeah, I'm entering on this candle. Yeah, I'm not going to put my stop here. Yeah, it's too close. Yeah, I'm not going to put my stop here. There's no wiggle room, but I might put my stop here. Just gives it a little bit more wiggle room. Yeah, so to give it room to move back up. Another thing, Perseverance. So yeah, make sure it's a good setup. Make sure there's a little bit of room for the trade to play out. Okay, and then thirdly, I did a tutorial on this, Perseverance. So we'll try and find a link and send it to you later. But instead of a stop loss, you could use a sell order. Okay, so this is a little bit more advanced trading, but let me show you this. So we know which candle I'm entering on. Yeah, I'm entering on this candle. Okay, yeah, that's my entry candle. I enter here. I enter on the close of this candle. Okay, I would normally put my stop here. Yeah, let's say here. But instead of a stop, where if price comes down, I get taken out, you can make this a sell order. It's not easy to write with this pen, so bear with me. Yeah, instead of a stop order, we can have a sell order. Okay, so instead of getting stopped out, you are now in a hedge. Yeah, you're in a buy, and you're in a sell of the same value. Does that make sense, Perseverance? Yeah. Is he muted?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so you've entered a buy here. This is your buy. Let's call this your buy 1. Yeah, and this is your sell 1. Okay, so you're not in a stop, you're in a hedge. You're basically carrying a loss. You're still in a negative position. It's not magic. Yeah, you're still in a loss, but you're not stopped out. And let's say, for argument's sake, your sell order, the whole trade then comes down to here, our second grey zone. Yeah, and then here we get an entry candle. Okay, I would then close the sell. This sell order, I would then close. I would close it here. All right. So at this point, I am only in my buy one. My sell one has been closed here. I've closed it here. Okay. And then I enter, well, not enter, I then place another sell order here. Let's call this S2. But this is another sell order. Okay. So, yeah, price could come back down, Perseverance, and take this sell out. Yeah, it could come down and you'll be in another sell and you'll still be carrying that hedge. You're in a hedged position. It's a losing position, but it's hedged. You're not stopped out. All right, that could happen. Or you close your sell, you make profit on the downside, on the short. It comes, you close the trade, and then price comes back up to our blue zone. And then your buy order eventually becomes in profit as well. So you make this profit on the sell. This is P for profit. Yeah. And then you get out of the trade and then you're still in your buy order, your very first buy order. And then price comes all the way back up to this blue line. And then you've made profit here as well. This is profit as well. Okay. So this is how I trade most of the time, Perseverance, yeah? But it's quite advanced trading, yeah? It takes a little bit to get your head around. But like I say, we will send you the tutorial that explains this in more detail. So yeah, that's another potential order. But you do have to be careful. You know, you could enter another sell and it could keep coming down. Yeah, so you do need to be wary of that. It's not a magical cure for stops. Yeah, but it's an interesting solution to the problem you're having. Okay, so I hope that helps, Perseverance. And have you got any questions about that or any further questions?
Okay. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, good. Have you got any other questions?
Okay, last question. So I've been trading synthetic indices. So now I'm trading currency. So I'm facing challenges again, finding that I don't understand the times. Like where do I find a volatile market?
Okay, so there's
finding that the market is moving slow, and then after that it's volatile again. It's moving.
Yeah, so you'll find that volatility, that volume comes into the market. You've got the London Open, okay? You've got the London Open, and you've got the New York Open, okay? So the London Open's usually around 8 o'clock London GMT, and the New York Open, I would need to do my maths, but that will open. EST, I think it's like 8 a.m. New York time. Okay, so when the London market opens and when the New York market opens, that's when there's large amounts of volume in the market. That's when you enter a trade, price will start to move. Overnight, it's just not going to do much. I mean, look at this price action here. While we're on this chart, yeah. So look at this, Perseverance. This is just overnight. Yeah, this here is just overnight. So for me, I trade the London Open and the New York Open if I haven't made profit by then. Yeah. So, and then overnight, I just avoid. You do have the Tokyo Open, but for me, the London Open, when the London market opens and the New York market opens, and there's also a bit of overlap when the London market is closing and the New York market is opening. So those 3 times there was a lot of people in the market, therefore a lot of volume, and therefore you have enough people to make the market move. Okay.
Okay, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, Perseverance. Well, thank you for coming on. Yeah, I hope you've found that helpful. Yeah, keep supporting the channel, Perseverance, and we'll see you maybe next week on the live.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, Perseverance. Thank you. See ya. Right. Okay, guys. All right. So yeah. So thanks, Perseverance, for coming on. We're probably going to wrap the video up now, guys. All right. So yeah, remember we've got the 2 trade ideas for today: Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, and New Zealand Japanese yen. I've shown you them. Yeah, I hope you have a great trading day, guys. And if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you tomorrow for our normal video. All right. See you later, guys.